It's the show on the go. Yours truly, the rapping professor. Today we are out in the community. It's time to clean up. WURD WURD TV show on the go. If you don't know, now you know. It is a beautiful, beautiful day in the neighborhood that we are helping to take care of. Sister Aminata here. Let the good people of Show on the Go know what is going on today.
And what is going on today is a mindful, zero waste public space community cleaning. We're cleaning from the curbside to the street, alleys, illegal dump sites, and sewers.
Now, who is this effort in partnership with? I know that you're a part of this, but you also have some great partners working with you, right?
I had some great partners working with me, such as Centennial Parkside CDC, one of our West Philadelphia community organizations, and West Belmont Civic Association, one of the community organizations.
Okay, shouts out to the organizations taking part. And what made you want to get involved in this way in terms of, this direct action of just taking it to the streets and cleaning up?
Well, Professor Aaron, what made me need to get involved to do this is my inner disgustment and inner just a spiritual, physical disgustment with the trash, litter, and blight in our community that is affecting our environmental health justice. I have not seen trash, litter, and blight to this level in all my life. And coming back to West Philadelphia and seeing this, it just left me in such a dismay. So I'm not one to just going to complain about it. I'm going to be boots on the ground and trying to do something to reduce the trash, litter, and blight here in this West Philadelphia community.
Now, when were you first in the area? I know you said you came back to this area.
Yes,
when were you first here?
I grew up in this area. My parents brought me to West Philadelphia. We lived at 43rd Street from 1951. And then in 1967, my parents moved around the corner here on Belmont Avenue, 1007 Belmont Avenue. They bought property from the house from Kappa Alpha Psi, which is their Kappa Alpha Psi's first and original fraternity house in Philadelphia. I left West Philadelphia May 8th, 1970, and I returned to West Philadelphia in January of 2016.
Now, this is a community effort in this immediate community, but it's a larger discussion about how we take responsibility and how we make sure that, the children are able to grow up in a safe and clean environment, and not even just as community members, as adults who are, charged to take care of the next generation and show them the way. I think it's very important for people, to recognize how much we can do without asking other people or, waiting on other people to clean up things for us. What do you think is one of the primary differences of the era you described when you were here previously and now? You said there was a big difference in terms of the amount of litter and blight. What do you attribute that difference to?
And there are multiple things that I contributed to because I'm right in the midst of studying it. Whereas in yesterday, I look at the things in the environment of yesterday. We didn't have plastic bags and plastic water bottles, coupled with the things of, say, removable trash items. We didn't have that in yesterday. But in yesterday, although we had items to be discarded of, there was a whole self-pride, civic pride, and a family teaching. We did not throw things on the street. We did not just not take pride in our community. We were every day, every Saturday, out cleaning our individual community blocks without it being a mandated city. This is the day to clean your block. We did this every Saturday, every home, and then during the week we, kept it up. And what we was cleaning then more so was powdered dirt. Like the leaves that fall from the tree in the fall. We were not even cleaning up candy wrappers. Because we as children were taught and learned that goes right into the receptacle. If you were out in the street and came from a store where you bought some candy or whatnot, you kept that in your pocket if you were not seeing immediately a trash receptacle.
Yeah, until you saw a trash can, right?
Exactly.
Now, one thing that's interesting, I heard a story about a man who had actually traveled to Africa. He was on the continent, and he was talking about some of the sisters where they would wipe, their doorways, And the irony is that they would be wiping their doorways, but the ground would be all dirt. And they were, wondering why someone would, take the initiative to wipe in front of their doorway if they're just wiping dirt to and fro. But there is something deeper. I know you said something about a spiritual level. Yes. There's something deeper about having a level of discipline, having a level of pride. And it's also a spiritual energy that you create or that you move in such a way when you organize your things and you attempt to, clean and have dominion over the space that you occupy. So I think that's really powerful when you said, there's a spiritual impact to allowing those that litter to determine and dictate what the environment will be, as opposed to having an issue but still resisting against, those who don't have the same home training or the same rituals in place.
Or self-pride.
Self-pride.
And civic pride.
Now, in terms of how we teach that, it's nice that we're taking responsibility, but we want the younger people to understand, and some of the older people. I was behind somebody in a car the other day. I got to the light, just trash flying out. And I'm thinking, there's a grown person, probably not in their neighborhood, but just throwing trash out of the window. How do we start to change that? So we're not always working like an uphill battle.
I'm still looking at how to change that. And even in reference to how to change that, I'm looking at, let's start with the manufacturers. How not we, but the manufacturers are now packaging. Let's do away with the plastic. Let's do away with the styrofoam, which is not even good to have your hot foods in.
And not biodegradable, right?
I mean, I didn't mean to do that.
All right.
Yes, and not biodegradable. Coupled with then, okay, that's one piece. But then you, the individual, have to get with learning, understanding, and being aware. You are trashing where you live, even if it's just a square circle. This is you. Are you trash? Are you litter? Is this what you want to speak for you?
I think that's powerful. You said you're figuring it out, but I think that's a good way to start, to let the young people know that their environment is an extension of themselves. And if you want to have fresh sneakers and fresh clothes, and you want to, have the drip and just, be the wave and, be so fresh and so clean all the time, then you have to recognize that your community is a reflection of who you are. And I think that's very important for young people to maybe get the message, in terms of why it's so important to keep things clean. I think that's a powerful testament. I think that's a good start.
And you know what, Professor? I look at, okay, our environment, trash, litter, and whatnot, dogs pooping and people spitting on the pavement. Then you take them same shoes. You walk in your house for whatever percent has carpet, and you just keep them on your carpet. In your carpet is all that toxic germs, disease, and you wonder why, the baby got asthma. Oh, I don't know why my eyes is running. Your eyes is running because you took the toxins out of the environment and brought it into your home, and you're not even aware that you are polluting the space that you live in, that's your abode, that's supposed to be your sanctuary.
And not to mention the energies you bring in to the house.
The energy.
With all those toxins and pollutants. We're going to get a look at some of the great work that's being done here today. A lot of the community members came out early, and we want to make sure that we give attention to those who found it not robbery to see their community as an extension of themselves. This is an important day because I think it's a start of something really big. And a lot of times we have traditions in the summer. We open the hydrants. We go to pools. There's a lot of things. We barbecue. I think one of the traditions we need to do is when the weather is nicer, we can increase the amount of times that we get out in the community and clean up, because I think it sends a powerful message when you have that kind of self-respect. It's the rapping Professor Aaron Smith, the show on the go. We are here while losing in Belmont. We are out in the community. It's a community cleanup effort. Sister Aminata gave the call, and we are out here. And right now, I'm with the good lawyer, Brother Leon, and he is actually the man who is responsible for helping us to sell the building that my grandfather had the store in for over 40 years. And I didn't even know this when Brother Leon was calling the station until later. I put it all together. Same Leon, not too many Leons that are lawyers and active in the community. A lot of times lawyers leave the community. So my first question to you is, having practiced as long as you have, having obviously had the opportunity to have nothing to do with your community, as so many of our people tragically do when they so-called succeed and get so-called educated, what was the difference for you that made you remain steadfast in your dedication to your community despite having achieved some worldly success?
Well, I am anti-crime, and I know that crime follows you. It doesn't have borders. People think they can escape, but they can't. They got to fight crime. And to me, a little known fact is that there's a close relationship between trash and crime. Criminals look at neighborhoods, and if it looks trashy, it looks like nobody's watching and nobody cares. So I ran for DA a couple of times. I am dedicated to fighting crime and to making our community a safe and secure place for our children to play and for our women to go to the store and do what they need to do. And you can't do that by going to the suburbs. You got to be down here where the crime is. You have to have a presence here and letting criminals know that this is our community. We have pride in it, and we're not going to give it up for anybody.
Community Cleanup Day. We're still talking with the good brother, the good lawyer, Brother Leon. And earlier we were discussing the connection between crime and cleanliness in the community. If it looks like nobody cares, if it looks like nobody's watching, and you can't have a bunch of trash and then expect nobody to think that they can act trashy or try to treat the people in the community like trash, it is up to us to use our cleanup efforts as a way to combat crime, because if they see that we love it and we respect it and we care about one another, and that we're not having some of the antics that we see when the community is let go and neglected, then we want to make sure we have the best possible opportunity for the youth and for our sisters to be safe and to grow up in a productive community. And I appreciate what Brother Leon said in terms of not running. Too many people have went according to this model of, I'm going to get out the hood, I'm going to escape the community and leave all their brothers and sisters to deal with all the issues that surround being in certain communities. And you said it's important to have a presence and to stay and fight. And I just thought to myself, if all of the people who got these degrees and so-called made it just stayed here, it would be like people said it was in the 50s and the 60s, when there would be teachers and lawyers and doctors living in the same community, looking out for one another, politicians, police officers that look like you. And it's ironic that we actually have what we need if we just have the right mentality.
That's right. You know, Professor, when we were coming up, my mother used to tell us that, you know, you might not have a lot of nice clothes to wear, but you can clean it. It really doesn't cost a lot of money to keep things clean. Some soap and water, whatever you need. You know, there's a lot of things that our community gets shortchanged of. And we do need government to infuse some resources in these communities. But this is one thing that you really don't really need government. I mean, it's government can help you in terms of the brooms and the shovels and the bags and what have you. But most of what we do here today, we're going to do, is people doing without cost. And in fact, the government will be saving money, because when the people do it, the government doesn't have to do it. So There's all kinds of benefits to cleaning up your community, cleaning up yourself, and cleaning up your mind. It's all related.
There's one thing that I think needs to be said in terms of the current generation, young and old. There's a shift that's taken place. I talk often about Dr. King and Operation Breadbasket, how they would have an economic component, to the protests. And nowadays they've abandoned the more substantive economic components, and everything's about the aesthetic and the ceremonial aspects of protests. So people will put on a t-shirt, they'll yell at the top of their lungs, they'll do a bunch of chants, they won't clean up anything, they won't make any economic demands, but I think we need to have a return to the grassroots types of community activism, because there's no way that you can get people to hold 100 signs, but we have difficulty handing out over 15 rakes and shovels. So I think we really need to, while you're watching this, consider a paradigm shift where we can get people to come out and clean up the same way we can come out and get people to act up and to yell and scream. Now, we had a great rally, about the situation with the police that Brother Solomon Jones did just a couple weeks ago. Wonderful rally, very important, but I'm talking about a both-and strategy. We need to go ahead down there and do that the way that we did. I think we are 100-something strong, but when we do events like this, we need to have those same type of numbers showing practical dedication to our community when it comes time to clean up. So let's clean up downtown, and let's clean up City Hall, and clean up police headquarters, and clean up the school board. I know you always talk about that, right? But let's also clean up outside our front doors. Any closing words you want to just give to the people while we're on?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate that we need to separate our problems into two groups. One is the problems that we need help from the government to fix. The other is the ones that we can do ourselves. And this is one of the problems, and it's a major problem. People say, oh, it's a little bit of trash thrown in the street. No, it's not. This is a major problem, because this shows whether or not we have pride in our community. And as you said, if we can't come together on something like this, then we're really wasting a lot of time trying to do a lot of things that we don't have control over.
Yeah, we talk a lot about reparations and revolution and a lot of things that we need to keep on discussing. But like the brother said, if we can't just do the basics, excellence is in the basics, it's in the details. You have to master the basics, and you have to have discipline to day after day do the little things that end up, bringing you to a place where you can appreciate excellence and greatness. You can't skip over the little things and the basics and think we're going to do everything that we need to do as a people. So right now we are doing it. If you look around, it's the basics. And we're mastering the basics so that we can move on to higher heights. Rapping Professor Belmont and Wyalusing, did I say that right?
Yeah, Wyalusing. Yeah.
Wyalusing and Belmont. My navigation, I'm not even going to say how the navigation says it. They got it all wrong. Whoever programmed that computer in the navigation is not from Philadelphia. They be saying Skuckle for the river and all this kind of stuff. I say, Skookle, what y'all trying to do? But we are out here in the community. We're cleaning up. It's about cleaning up spiritually, cleaning up our minds, cleaning up in terms of our habits, mastering the basics. And we are here today getting it done. Thank you, Brother Leon, for all your support.
Thank you.
It's the Rapping Professor Show on the go. Belmont and Wyalusing, WURDradio.com, WURD TV. And right now, I am with the wife of Brother Omar Askia Ali. Said it correct? Now, tell us a little bit about your husband.
Well, my husband, he's been incarcerated over 45 years, wrongfully convicted, and we've been fighting in the courts and also through the different innocent projects and so forth to try to get that whole thing overturned, and for him to be able to come back physically to our community, because mentally he's always been in our community. And this is why I'm out here, and some friends of his he's been talking to about this event, to come out and help and have input in the community and be a part of the solutions, and not just to be thought of as the problem. So I'm here representing him, myself, our families, and some of the other people who are also incarcerated.
So it's Omar Askia Ali,
Yeah.
and he was actually on the phone just a few moments ago, right?
To see, make sure we were out here and everything was going well and that kind of thing. So
And how far is he right now?
He's at Cole Township. That's about a 3-hour ride from Philadelphia to go up there to see him. We're trying to get him moved closer to home because we're both in our 70s and all of that. But we're making it happen. And like I said, we're still working on having this decision overturned with the district attorney's integrity unit. It's in front of them, the New York Innocent Project, and also in front of the state Supreme Court. He has been twice tried by them eliminating any blacks from his jury by the all-white jury issue, and that's part of the reason why he's been incarcerated all these years. He would have been home 20 years ago had they preserved that issue on his case.
And had him in front of a jury of his peers. Right?
Which we're all supposed to be entitled to a fair trial.
So as we continue to talk about due process, one thing I want you to consider. The brother has been away, at least physically, for over 40 years.
Yeah, 45 years.
He's 45 years. Omar Askia Ali, he's currently 3 hours away, but still took time and made it possible to have other people show up and to be in touch with the community in terms of cleaning up and being active in the community despite any challenges he's going through. So I just want you to know there is no excuse. No excuse. And salute to you, Brother Omar, and everything that you're going through. Your name is being kept alive in a powerful way, not just by the headwear, but we're going to have you on the show on the go. So the more pressure and the more times we say people's name and keep those issues out in front, I think it's that much better for people to know that there's things that we need to do. And if it's the way you saying it, and after we saw that Ava DuVernay special on Netflix, there's a whole lot of things we need to look at again. So we need to spend the next 10, 20 years looking at about 80% of these cases, if you ask me.
That's true. That's true. And I appreciate you giving us this opportunity to spread this information to our community, because nobody's going to change this but us, and we have to be involved. We have to be involved in some way, and we can be.
It's the Rapping Professor Show on the go. Belmont and Wyalusing. Sister Aminata called us up. All the great partners that played a part in this event today. Everybody that came out. Everybody that wished they came out. Some people on the sick and shut-in list, but they knew if they were able to move around, this is where they would be. Cleaning up their community, showing love and respect for ourselves, looking at our community as an extension of ourselves, and making sure that we recognize the connection between cleanliness and crime. See, we're keeping ourselves safe. We're keeping ourselves spiritually clean. We're making sure that we demand the kind of respect by showing the accountability and the discipline necessary to transfer it onto the next generation. Next time you clean up, know that you're doing a whole lot of things at once. You're not just cleaning. And today, we're doing a major cleanup. We're cleaning up our spirits, cleaning up our minds, cleaning up our communities, and cleaning up that baton pass to the next generation. Because if you young, just know it's on you, because you got a whole lot more days most likely to do a whole lot of cleaning, and now you know why it's so important. And don't ever let somebody just be littering in front of you, that you're with, and don't say something, because this is just unacceptable. It's not who we are, and it's not who we're going to be. So Wyalusing, Belmont, you see the mural. Shouts out to the great one, Black Excellence in Journalism, Ed Bradley. I'm trying to do my part, bringing the journalism to the community. That's what we do. Show on the go. Look at this spread. You've never been to a cleanup with a spread like this. I thought I was graduating high school. I said, is this the prom? They got punch? I said, what? Is this a family reunion? Where are my cousins? This is beautiful. But we are family. I got all my brothers and sisters with me. You zoom in, you can see Sister Aminata on a 3-wheel pink bike with a basket on the front, and you don't want to miss that, because that sister is young at heart and always involved and engaged in the community. That's what you need to do. Get out and about and live your best life. Living my best life. Show on the go.